Oh shit.
I'm not used to wearing them.
I hear that. I hear that. So we're gonna pick it up from there. I know Alicia finna tap in a minute. Go ahead, Ed.
But like I said, it's like toxic relationships are abusive relationships. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be physical, but it's a thing where basically a toxic relationship is when somebody opinion, wants, and needs matter more than the other person. Bottom line. You know, that could be male and it could be female, you know. I've seen a lot of toxic females, you know, and now the trend is to be toxic.
But that's the thing is that, you, like you said, you pick out a motherfucker who gonna G for that shit. That's like, you know, like I say, motherfuckers know how to pick them. It's certain motherfuckers, like as a man, you know what your league is. You know what I'm saying? You got the bottom feeders, then you got your mid grade, and then you got your top level. So you know the bottom. That's what it is.
They're predators. People like that are predators. And I mean, I don't want to just put it off on the men. I've seen a lot of women do a lot of toxic shit in relationships. Yeah, and, you know, it goes both ways. I mean, you know, and I mean, I have to admit, I'm not going to lie. Me being in a toxic relationship,
leave your edges alone.
Oh, I just kind of slicked them down a little bit. Can y'all see that? I ain't got none, but you know, anyway, I do got them. I just ain't got no baby hair. But anyway,
you ain't no baby.
I sure well, they probably grayed and fell out. But me being in a toxic relationship so long, I'm not gonna lie, it made me kind of carry a lot of toxic traits over into my other relationships. Because sometimes a toxic relationship is just not communicating, shutting down.
Right.
I mean, that's why I say it's a broad, toxicity is a broader spectrum than flat out abuse, which why it's so hard to detect.
But you know, ain't nothing permanent no more. I guess it's a gift and a curse because
nothing ever really was. It's just some people just, you know, they were in situations where they couldn't walk away and they couldn't leave.
Fuck that. If you gotta, I don't know, at some point you have to look at the situation and evaluate the whole thing. And to me, if the bads outweigh the goods, then maybe you should make a move. You know what I'm saying?
But you have to know what's bad and you have to know what's good.
Well, that depends on the person.
That depends on the person.
It depends on the person. So my good is different from your good and vice versa. So
yeah,
it just depends. Like some people could say, okay, well, you know, motherfucking turtle candy is good for dinner. And then another motherfucker say, well, we want motherfucking pea soup for dinner. So it just depends on the person. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no one way. There's no rule book on it. I mean, I think, I don't know. It's kind of sticky in a way because some of this shit, like if it's a constant thing where it's a constant type of dictatorship, I would categorize that as toxic. But if it's like a one-off or like an occasional thing, then that's just a motherfucker popping off. But I'm not saying it's cool. I'm saying that, you know, people handle relationships differently, you know, and I don't think no two people do it the same way. It just depends on the person that you with or a number of different things. And I'm not discrediting anything you said, but you know, like this toxic thing is a fairly new term. And so that's why, I mean, for me, it's like, I don't use the term myself. I just look at it like, oh, okay, so-and-so fucked up or they fucked up, you know, but it's real. It really happens, you know, it shouldn't happen. But I mean, some of these tell-all signs be there and you know, you just have to go with your gut on that. I mean, because what else can you do? I mean, you can't really go to somebody outside of you and ask them because they're only going to tell you what they think is good for you. But you know what's good for you, or at least you should.
You should.
You know what I'm saying? And that's a process in itself, finding out what it is you need. And every person's needs are different. I may need motherfucking Lucky Charms and motherfucking Newports for breakfast every morning.
No, nobody needs that.
That might be a need of mine. That may not be Alicia's need.
Well, that's unhealthy for everybody involved, Kennard.
But that's what I
Also,
need.
the thing
So-
is saying, okay, so you need Newports every morning,
And
but
let's
here
go.
I go saying, well, if you love me, you wouldn't do that.
Fuck that. That's gonna be
But
our
my thing
response.
is that's part of toxicity though, where okay, this is what somebody does, but that does not mean that it's always they don't go about it the right way.
Just because you love a person don't mean that you have to completely change who you are to prove
But
you
that's
don't
what
love
some
them.
people expect. I've had relationships past that. I've had relationships past the one that I was in where it's like, you know, a person expects you to change because it's more comfortable for them.
If a person expects you to change who you are, then they don't really want to be with you.
That's what I said.
That's what that is. If you can't accept, and I'm not saying you should accept, that's a double-edged sword too. I'm not saying you gotta accept the person. You gotta accept who they are. But understand that that person ain't perfect. The sooner the better. Once you understand a person ain't perfect, but that doesn't give them the leeway to go and just do outlandish shit. You still gonna be respectful, you know, all that. You're gonna be respectful of your significant other, but they're not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So once they can understand that about you too, then I think the relationships will go a lot better. People make mistakes every fucking day. That happens all the time. Mistakes all the time. But once it gets to a thing where you beating a motherfucker down any kind of which way, you personally don't need to be in that relationship. Neither one of y'all should be with each other. If you have to go to that extent to keep a relationship, fuck that shit. It ain't worth it. You see what I'm saying? Because shit get out of hand, motherfuckers. Because put it like this, if certain shit, okay, if you type motherfucker that's a thief. Let's say it's a motherfucker's a thief. And goddamn it, they come in, they go in your purse and they taking a couple of dollars out your purse. And you catch them in it. And they say they give you some bullshit excuse. Oh, okay, well, you know, I want to go get some Lucky Charms. All right. Month later, they do the same shit. They take in more and you catch them again. And they give you another bullshit excuse. That should go on forever. Because basically you're saying it's okay. Because you're rewarding them for bad behavior. You're saying, okay, well, I'm going to stay here. I'm going to still stay in a relationship. They ain't do nothing but steal. They ain't do nothing but take a couple of dollars. I'm going to stay here anyway. See? So that's like saying it's okay. So at some point, you got to cut that fucking tie. No matter how long it takes, you got to cut that fucking tie to prove to a motherfucker, hey, man, this shit ain't cool. This some bullshit. I don't need to deal with this shit. I'm fucking out of here. And move the fuck on.
That's when you get like I think you said something to the effect of like you can't go outside of you to have talks, and I disagree because you get a lot of wisdom from elders. So you know, just like we just quoted our grandparents, our dads, our uncles, your mother. Mm-hmm. Like we got some information about love from people other than ourselves. Mm-hmm. And one thing that I remember my mom told me, you know, people expect different things and accept different things in a relationship. So like that stealing shit might not be a deal breaker for whoever that they're doing it to, where that's a deal breaker for me. Or some women don't mind their husband staying out all night or their man staying out, as long as he's paying the bills and keep money in their pockets. Like it's a matter of what you can deal with and what you like. I think what's paramount to people in any relationship is to ask themselves, like, how is this benefiting me? Is this hurting me, or is this making me better? Because you know, I might not mind my man coming in the house, you know, at 4:00 in the morning. It don't bother me. Whereas it might bother Ed. That don't make it right or wrong. That just means that that's not for that person. Right. But if I'm in a situation where I'm not feeling fulfilled, I'm not at my best, I'm unhappy. My friend told me this last week. He said, when you're by yourself, you're not anything. You're only when you're in a relationship. True. And when I thought about it, we were laughing about it, but the more I thought about it, like he had a point. Like you're not unhappy when you're by yourself. You're not on a lot of things, but having somebody in your life should not dictate your happiness. Like you should be happy by yourself. Like nobody brings you happiness, but you should not have anybody in your space that disrupts that happiness or that peace or does not make you a better person. When you get to a point where you're in fear of like being yourself, or when when you're doubting who and what you are, that's indicative of a problem. And those are things that you need to talk about. Like certainly, when you start feeling like that, then those are situations that you might need help getting out of, or trying to see what it is about yourself that's allowing this. Because certainly, when we talk about toxic relationship, there's something wrong with that person that's being toxic, but also that person that's accepting that toxic behavior, because there's something in you that makes you feel like that's something you have to accept. Right. Because we all, you know when something doesn't feel right to you, or when you don't, like, why are you in a relationship that does not make you feel good? And why are you so intent on holding on to something that is not beneficial to you? And then we have to look at ourselves and ask, why am I still here? What's going on with me that I think that being treated like this is okay?
You got a good point. You have a few good points, actually. But yeah, like I said, that just takes that look in the mirror or reevaluating everything. And you're not going to stay in a relationship for any length of time unless you're getting something out of it. Once it gets to the point to where you're not gaining anything, then you're leaving indefinitely. There's nothing there. But people will put up with all kinds of shit because of what they're gaining or receiving. You know what I mean? So it just depends, But if it gets to the point that it ain't even worth it, you got to go with all this bullshit. Just like we talked about high value men. We talked about that maybe an episode or two ago. But this ties in with it. Like, could you imagine? Like,
some people, you have to understand, some people raised to expect shit like that because that's all they see. Like we always say. Like, okay, there are some little girls who grew up seeing their fathers control their mothers.
Yeah.
She can't go here. She can't wear this. She can't talk to her friends. She can't have no friends. So then they get with a man and the man start doing that to them. They say, oh, well, he loves me. This is what's supposed to happen.
I had a girlfriend tell me a man don't love you if he don't beat you.
I've heard
I had somebody say some shit like that.
I've had a girl and she was dead ass serious. Like, serious.
That's old school.
First of all, it's bullshit.
It is bullshit. I agree.
The thing is right. Thing is what was normal. I hate to say it was normal, but what was considered normal back then is like now we know the shit ain't okay.
Now, my great grandma didn't take no ass.
I never thought me being beat on and hit on was okay.
But
I also thought that if a motherfucker showed that they were sorry to me afterward, well then maybe he do love me because he's really sorry. Yeah, my eye, I can't open my eye, but damn, he's really sorry about that. He do love me.
Fuck all that. If a motherfucker, look.
You can say fuck all of that. Truly, you can say that. But my thing is if you're not in it and your mind has not been corrupted, if your mind is uncorrupted, yeah, you're gonna be like, oh hell no. And people be like, well, how the fuck can your mind get like that? Trust me, it does. I've been there.
Right. Yeah, I say I'm not gonna never take nothing away from what you're saying because I did not have that experience. So I really can't, I can only speak from my perspective and just speak on my own behalf. But that's about as much as I can do. But I did not experience that.
Right. I'm speaking from having endured it and having survived it. Now I know a motherfucker put their hands on me. If I don't kill you, we done. You know what? Yeah. Yeah.
Fair enough.
But 20-year-old Ebony. What'd you say? You said what?
The mic went out.
Flashback. You just went out for a minute. It's
your mic. Mic, Alicia.
Okay, can you all hear me?
It's not triggering, but even sometimes even talking about it, to be honest with you, I want to go back and kick my own ass because it's like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, let me say this to you. I think that we, even when you go through when you haven't experienced those kind of relationships, I think you have to be you have to be gentle with yourself. You know, at 18, what the hell, you didn't know shit at 18. What you knew about maintaining a man or relationship, you don't know. And you don't know that you don't know until you know. Um, you know, I got married at 23 to somebody that was 10 years my senior. And I remember my mother telling me, he asked my mother about marrying me. My mother said she didn't think it was a good idea because he was too old. But we didn't fuck with my mama know, but she was, you know, she was older than me. She ain't no shit. But she called it on the head. Like I had no business with this man because what he knew about life and what I knew about life were two totally different things. And what I was still trying to learn was things that he already knew. So he was able to pull a lot of stuff over on me because I had little to no experience when I was 23. Like I didn't know shit. But at 33, he knew a whole lot more. And so you have to be forgiving and gentle with yourself, even in those times, because you know you're still at 18, you're still trying to learn. And being in a relationship that young and having children, like I didn't have kids at 18, but having a child at 18 and being in that relationship, that's a lot, Ebony. That's a lot for an adult. So at 18, having all that go on, you have to kind of not look at it like what the hell was wrong with me, but understand that at 18, baby, you didn't know shit. You didn't know shit, and you just got caught up in something that you were not equipped to handle. But you have to forgive yourself and understand that where you were at that point was you were somebody that just did not know a lot. That'd be like you talking to Bree or me talking to Unique about a relationship or a man. I could give my daughter at 20 the information that I have, but she has yet to experience what like true heartbreak is, or what certain stuff she's just gonna have to go through. And you know, and I'm here to navigate her through that. But some of the lessons that she's going to learn are going to be lessons that I can't teach her, and they're going to hurt.
Yeah.
And so you have to forgive yourself and understand that where you were at that point was just where you were, and it made you into who you are today. And you have to appreciate it for what it is. It just made you a different person with more experience and something to offer somebody who's going through it now. Now you can look at somebody at 18 years old that's going through that and give them some of your wisdom because you've been through that. So you know what it looks like and you know how to get out of it, and you know what it entails.
And you got to be patient. Right. You got to be patient with yourself too, as well too. Because like what Alicia said, like I said, all of us was young at one stage in time, and we didn't know much. We might have thought we knew, but we really didn't know, you know. And we young and impressionable. And you know, you get a hold of somebody that you like and you're attracted to and all this, and you're head over heels and blah blah blah, you know. And you know, during the course of that, you may go through a lot of stuff that you know that you wouldn't dare go through.
It stunted my growth a lot. I mean, I ain't gonna say, well, yeah, I'm better now, but it's like from 18 to the time I was 35, I went through this. So by the time I got out of this situation, I ain't gonna say mentally I was 18, but I was like, it's like I was kind of stuck in time a little bit. So it's like I had to spend a lot of years catching up.
Right.
And then I get into other relationships and it's like I'm still carrying some of that toxic stuff. You know what I mean? So like one of my boyfriends, it was like, why you always explaining everything to me? Because I had got conditioned I had to explain every move I made. Because I thought that was normal. Even past that situation, I'm like, well, let me explain myself before the argument start. Or I got so used to arguing that I thought that, okay, this motherfucker trying to try me, I'm not finna have this. Well, let me tell you this, let me tell you that. And your mama's ugly too. You know, that type of shit. That's where my mouth come from, Alicia.
Girl, your mouth, first of all, your mouth was there way before that, baby. I done met your mama.
Yeah, I ain't gonna even lie, because a lot of the, I mean, and that's the thing. I was disobedient because I talked back. Not realizing to myself that I'm just as grown as you. I have a right to say everything that I feel I should say, just like you do. But see, it was punitive. Everything I did was a punishment for everything I did.
But you have to realize too, Ebony, at 18, you're a baby. Like you're still a baby. Like you probably, I'm sure you would start behind it at 35. Like, but it still made you who you are. But at 18, dear, you're a baby. So all that conditioning and what he was doing to you, you really didn't have any fight with it because you didn't know how to deal with that shit. You weren't really old enough to learn how to navigate through bullshit like that. And you just got caught up in it. And I'm with Kanar, like you have to be patient with yourself because those things, the things that happen in our lives mold us into who we are today. And who I love who I am today. I'm not perfect. I can, I might need some, mental help, some, but I like who I am. It made what I went through made me a stronger person. And even what you went through, like I've known you long enough to know that nothing gets you down too much, and you can always figure stuff out.
I try.
That's a skill.
Right. But that comes from learning how to survive and adapt. Like we can all go through things, and some people just shut down and give up on life. And some people learn how to work around those things and make things better and move around. And so you have to give yourself
Time.
time and love yourself. Love yourself enough to know that at 18 you just didn't know, and you were caught up in something that you were not equipped to handle, and it was a bad experience, but you got 2 babies out of it. And I think you have, I don't think you give yourself enough credit. You have a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom in just dealing with people like that because you know what that looks like. And that's something you can offer to a young girl who's going through that. Like that's something that you may be able to prevent somebody else from spending from 18 to 35 going through.
Well, you know what? I try. And sometimes I feel like, yeah, well, maybe I did go through those things just so I can speak to somebody and help them in that situation. I don't look at it as always a bad thing, but, somebody had to go through it so somebody will know what to do in that situation.
Yeah, yeah.
That may be a part of your purpose.
Right.
Have the ability to mentor people who are going through those type of relationships at a young age.
You know what? I talk about it. I talk about it on TikTok sometimes. I mean, honestly. I don't do it on Facebook, I found ways to, I guess, heal through helping.
But that's my point. Like, so you have to even look at that and look at what kind of blessing and benefit you are to other people. Even if you're doing on TikTok, you don't know how many people you're actually reaching. I mean, not even young girls, but people that are in those kind of relationships, how you're reaching them and what impact you're having on them.
Straight up. That's why I say y'all need to get y'all platforms up on the side tip. Get y'all platforms going because y'all got voices and y'all got stuff people want to hear for real. Put it out there and just let the world soak it up.
I just talk with y'all. I don't do TikTok. I don't even know how to get on TikTok.
I'm not a TikTok person. I don't know nothing about it. But
actually, to me, it's better than Facebook because it's a lot. I mean, they do ban some of your stuff, but if you appeal it, they'll put it back up. But it's not as censoring as Facebook is.
Yeah, I get censored.
And it's a lot more. It's a lot more information on there than Facebook because Facebook is biased than a motherfucker.
So, but I thought about Instagram the other day, and I was like, well, that would be dope, but to put the show on Instagram and get some followers. Most of motherfuckers is on Facebook, is on Instagram, so you'll get all them followers. For the people that don't really fuck with Facebook, they can check us out on Instagram. So I thought about doing that. I'm gonna talk to my wife about it. But if I ever did go to TikTok, that's what it would be for, is to promote the show. Because I don't know much about TikTok. I know people share TikTok videos on Facebook. Here's one now. I see this guy here. He's got a police skull cap on. It's another nigga with no shirt on, and the chick that's behind him got a bonnet on. So I don't know what the fuck. But people put up all time. Yeah, I'm looking at it right here. I see it, but I don't have the volume up because we on the show. But TikTok is what's popping right now. I know that.
Yeah, and I mean, you know what? It's a lot of stuff that, like, a lot of things that I found out that wasn't on the news. It happens on it. It came through on TikTok, like the little kindergarten boy who he stopped up the toilet somehow. and the teacher made him reach his hand in there and pull out his own shit. I mean, that didn't reach no, you know, news media outlets.
Where did this happen at?
Somewhere down south, as far as I know.
What color
It's
was
a
the
lot. I
teacher?
mean, honestly, I like TikTok because it's a lot of funny stuff. It's a lot of new. It's a lot of uplifting. Whatever you're looking for on TikTok, you can find it.
What you said was down south? What color was the kid?
It was a little black 5-year-old boy,
What color was the teacher?
white.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be some shit now. I'm surprised that ain't surfaced up yet.
I'm surprised you had to ask that. You should have known the answer.
No, because I don't know. I mean, okay, put it like this. Just like, okay, I don't know if y'all heard about the shooting at Oxford High School in southern Michigan.
My mother was telling me about that.
Okay, so it was 3 people dead. One of them was a teacher. 2 students got killed. The kid that did the shooting had a semi-automatic, I think a semi-automatic Glock or some shit like that. 15 years old. And 11 people got injured. What color was he?
Black.
White.
That has yet to be seen.
He was white then.
He was white because
Yeah,
if
he
he
was
was
white.
black, we would
Let
have
me
knew
tell
about
you
it.
why
Just
he
like
was
that
white.
little,
If
just
he
like that
was
little
black,
black
they
boy that
would've
shot
been
up that
shown.
school in Texas. Remember that little black boy that shot up the school in Texas for being bullied for being rich? They put it
Yeah.
out there right away that he was black.
Nah, that
Yeah.
kid wasn't fucking rich. I know you're talking about, because I think Eb,
He had more money than the other kids. You know what I'm saying? To
goddamn
them,
money.
okay. To
No.
them, it was money. He probably had fresh shit. You know what I'm saying? So they
What?
figured he was rich. You know what I'm saying? You got to look at the neighborhoods and shit. Because
Okay,
there was
I
a
don't
lot of motherfuckers. It was a lot of motherfuckers in Austin we thought had money and was rich, and they didn't. They just dressed fresh.
The motherfuckers were selling dope like the rest of the motherfuckers. That's what that was. The
Was he
niggas that
really?
had
Because
that.
I didn't hear nothing about that.
The niggas,
Why the fuck
look.
was he being bullied then?
Who?
This dude
No,
was
he's
being
talking about
bullied.
he talking about people in Austin.
Yeah, that's how I want to talk about that for a second. Look, the motherfuckers up at when we went, and Eb, you left what, Eb, what year did you start?
You gonna put people business all out there, Canard.
Fuck them niggas. That's how I feel about them.
It was a lot of motherfuckers. See, it was a lot of motherfuckers that did not sell drugs. Their parents had a little bit of money, so they dressed a little better.
That's
You know what I'm saying?
bullshit. That went to Austin.
No, you can't say everybody in Austin sold drugs because then that means that your ass was out there working too.
Bullshit. I worked at McDonald's. Everybody knew it. I used to come to school with Big Macs and shit in my pocket. That's true story.
No, but what I'm saying is not every black kid's story is drug dealing. I knew a lot of people who had money, or they dressed nice. Their parents could afford stuff.
Mm-hmm. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the niggas. When I went from 93 to 90 motherfucking 7, the niggas that had the Air Max and the mics, them was dope dealers. The niggas that had the fucking.
So everybody was. I mean, but I'm asking you, was it everybody?
Everybody didn't have Air Max and mics. Did you? I don't know what you wore. I had no goddamn Air Max or mics for 4 years. I ain't had none of that. Right. So we weren't dope dealers, correct?
Hey.
See, now I'm a hater. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Look, Buck Nasty.
Why gotta be a hater?
Buck Nasty in the building with that
Buck
hate.
I gotta be Buck
Buck
Nasty.
Nasty that into the room.
But I'm a hater. It's real. I'm just being real. Them niggas.
What Emily is saying
But
is
what
that
I'm
you
saying
can't equate everybody with Maxes and Jordans with being dope dealers, which is essentially what you're saying.
We talk, okay. So you basically telling me that it's a nigga up in there, he got a big ass herringbone on and a motherfucking la and a motherfucking
Well, hell, a lot of their parents was selling drugs and shit, so they dressed nice. They didn't have to. But what I'm saying is, it's not. But it was some people. It was some Okay, I know there were people in Austin whose parents made good money. They dressed nice. They wasn't selling drugs and stuff. Yeah, I mean, you act like a requirement for the school was to take a motherfucking 10 crack commandment course or something.
They weren't selling dope. Why y'all act like it was like what? I went to that school you went to.
It wasn't happening. I'm not saying that wasn't happening, but what I'm saying is it wasn't everybody's reality. Hell, I mean, I went to Austin and I was naive as shit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Exactly my point. Right. What you just said. What'd you just say?
I went to Austin and I was naive as shit.
Okay, stop right there. No, stop right there. Stop right there. That's my point.
What the Ebony
What
wasn't shit?
No, she said naive and shit. I'm trying to tell you what it was.
Okay, but I'm trying to tell you that I know that it was some kids in there that was not selling drugs that dressed nice because their parents had a little bit of money.
Okay, so
that's what I'm saying.
What year did you leave, Evan?
94, and that's 3 years difference. It was goddamn. You act like it's like you motherfuckers when you went through the metal detectors, they handed you a motherfucking 8-ball and like go do your thing.
No, I ain't saying that. Them niggas was look. I know what it was, and that's what them niggas was on. Them niggas was up
a lot of them were, but a lot of them weren't. I'm trying to tell you, not everybody in Austin is considered poor. Some people actually were educated, or their parents had good jobs and stuff. You know, not everybody over there was, a statistic.
I'm just listening.
No, you're not just over there listening.
I am. I'm listening.
With your disapproving mom.
Look, when Bug Nasty gets started, you just gotta let him go.
And he has entered the building, hasn't he?
I'm knowing what it is.
Look, shoulders shaking, Jerry curl shining. You want it?
He got the purple suit on. He didn't pull the purple suit out for this one.
See, I can't win. But you look, Ed, what school? What middle school did you go to?
I went to John Hay.
Okay,
from kindergarten through 8th grade.
I don't know nothing about John Hay, but I can tell you about Douglas. Culture shock like a motherfucker. I went to Douglas. We just moved from the north side that summer. I get to Douglas, and it's niggas in the hallway shooting dice with a fistful of money with a fucking Douglas uniform on, with the motherfucking the yellow shirt with the navy blue slacks, with Air Max on and Jordans. Them niggas are selling dope. They were selling dope. All them niggas.
I'm not saying that wasn't what was happening. I'm not saying you a hater. What I'm trying to tell you is that wasn't everybody.
That was in reference to me. I was shaking my hand at him while he was.
Hate.
Okay.
I gotta be a hater. Hate.
I'm just saying, because I don't think that you can say everybody.
Next person who boos getting shot.
So I gotta be Buck Nasty and Ice-T. But look,
you Buck Nasty. You not Ice-T.
I can't see. I'm trying to tell y'all what it is. I lived on the west side 8 years, and that's what it was. I
never lived on the west side.
I lived on the west side my whole entire life, and I'm trying to explain to you that it was a lot of that shit going on. It was a lot of that shit going on. Yeah. All right. When I grew up, first of all, my parents moved over there the night I was born in 76. And I lived on Lawler. Augusta and Lawler. When I first moved over there, it wasn't shit over there. It was like a rainbow. I grew up with Puerto Ricans, Polish people, Hawaiian people, all kind of people. Then next thing you know, the motherfucking P-Stones took over, and then it's like they tore down the projects, and it turned into New Jack City over there, like real talk.
Yeah, it is.
Not everybody moved though. It was a lot of people over there. Like my dad worked for the railroad. Everybody over there, and back then parents worked for Brock's. Remember Brock's Candy Factory?
Yeah.
Yes.
It was on the west
side.
So
it was people over there like they had good jobs and shit. Some of them people even retired from them places. So they had money. They kids had shit. And some like the situation in Texas, the boy, he probably had a little bit more than what the other kids had. So they fucked with him about it. He wasn't shot, which was stupid as shit, but he shot him. He went to school and shot him up.
Right. And got off.
Well, bullying, because he was being bullied.
No, I ain't buying that. Now you sit up here.
Well, you know what? I'll put it like this. God damn it, it's about time one of us got off for some shit. We ain't got off for nothing since OJ. Shit.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's the problem I got right there. Now it's okay for us to go up and shoot up a bunch of niggas because some internet bullying or some punk shit like that. It's okay. But then the minute the motherfucking cop come down or some Karen or some bullshit, oh, you a nigga. Then now here come BLM and fucking LGBT and all these freak motherfuckers trying to get a protest downtown or some bullshit. That's the problem I got. And I'm like,
Would you feel better if he went and shot up some white folks? I mean, what the fuck you want?
I'm saying he shouldn't be shooting, period. But we shouldn't be
Nobody should
applauding
be
that
shooting, period.
he fucking walked away.
Okay, let me rephrase that. I'm glad that he did get off, because guess what? At 14, 15, however old this little boy was, him being a black boy, he would have been charged as an adult. Well, we got this motherfucking cow bitching house little motherfucker who went out there looking for trouble and got off. So
yeah, and
me,
I agree with that. I don't agree. I'm sorry. I don't agree with that. I do agree with what you said, but I don't agree with the fact that he got off, because it was the same bullshit. They should have locked his nigga ass up quick. That's what should have happened with him. I knew for sure he was gonna be getting ass raped and mouse raped, and then join the Aryan Brotherhood.
I told you didn't even want to believe me, Kanad. I told you.
You said it. You called it. I thought for sure, because I'm like, the evidence is there. So
I knew he was gonna get off. The reason I knew
Kanad had a lot of hope.
I'm like, oh, he good.
That's because he has hope in the justice system. But I knew that motherfucker wasn't gonna he wasn't gonna get charged for shit. The judge would not let anybody he would not let them call them people victims. B, when he threw out that misdemeanor gun charge, first of all, this nigga 17, he ain't supposed to have no fucking guns and stuff. I knew he was gonna get off right then, right there.
But I do agree with Kanad about the young man that got off of bullying. Like he should have went to jail. Like I'm sick of all these kids. I'm just sick altogether of these children that nobody is like. Shit happens. It's gonna be people that don't like you. It's gonna be people that don't want to talk to you. It's gonna be people that just talk behind your back. It's gonna be people that fuck with you. We are not giving our children skills to learn how to deal with this shit. Like, everybody ain't got to like you. Ain't gonna always be a winner. Sometimes when you don't come in first, that damn means you lost the race. Like shit, we have created a
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, that was a bitch move, you know. I ain't gonna lie.
But what I'm saying is that we can't, even a black kid, like I get what you're saying, but even as a black kid, like we need to stop. We need to stop this shit. Like these kids just like what kind of coping mechanisms are we actually teaching these children that they are? Because I know they feel desperate, and I feel for them. But what are we teaching them, and what coping mechanisms are we giving them that they don't feel like they can go to anybody? Where are the fucking adults in this? Like if he's being bullied at school, like even when you hear about these white kids being bullied at school, where are the teachers? Where are the parents? Where are the adults that are in these schools that are supposed to be monitoring this shit? Where are they? Because this should not be going on without an adult being aware of it, and there should be some talk about what's going on. There seems to always be these kids are getting bullied, they're and nobody knows anything about it. Right. Your child is being bullied on the internet, and your child doesn't have enough sense to get
off the fucking internet, right?
Why? But it's something that we're not instilling in our children that are making them so fucking soft. Our kids are soft. Like when we were growing up, if somebody said something about us, we were taught as long as they didn't
touch you, I was bullied, okay?
But our kids are not being taught that. Our kids are being taught that if somebody don't speak to you, they don't like you, or they whispering about you, you got to go kill yourself.
That's what all these kids, like you said, these little motherfucking kids who get trophies for fucking showing up. Like what the fuck?
And it's not real life, so we're not preparing them for real life, because you might get a trophy now for showing up, but as an adult nigga, you don't get no trophy for showing up. You don't get no bonus for just showing up. You get a bonus for performing at a high level. Higher than most people.
No, Alicia, I have to disagree there. They starting to set the stage to where that's exactly what you're going to get.
You know what? This is what I think it is. I think it was overcompensation for the baby boomers being so fucking tough. Then the Generation X kids basically being left on their own. So we we don't want our kids to be like this. So let's just give them all this extra love and extra care and shit, you know?
They're some fucking
They're soft.
Straight up. That's why but see, that's what I'm saying. You're talking about a simple conflict, you know, where if a mother, in that case, if I had to guess, the kid didn't pull no gun on you, but you pull a gun on him, kill him. That's just like we got 1 minute left. We're gonna go to the next one. But just like,
well, I was a fighter, so you wasn't gonna bully me too much, because my mama my brothers told me, motherfucker keeps talking about you, knock them in their head. So I was a fighter.
But shit, I done got bullied before. I done got jumped on, nose busted. Not once did I think about grabbing a gun. Well, actually, I did think about it, but I never did it.
Right.
You know, it was
These
just,
kids ain't got
you know,
they don't got, and giving them what we didn't have, they don't have what we have. You get what I'm saying?
right, because we didn't pass it down. And see, that's the fault of the parents of my generation. If y'all didn't pass it down, just like Kyle Rittenhouse' mother was younger than us. See what I'm saying? She like 37. She looked motherfucking 67.
That's that racism age in her ass.
But see, oh god damn it. You know,